Welcome to Talkin Wellness with Beth and Jay, the podcast that makes living well fun and attainable. We're going to be bringing you different insights and interviews with a twist of laughter to improve your health and wellness. The goal of this podcast is to empower you to make small changes in your life, resulting in big outcomes. So today, Jay and I are going to be talking about mindset and how important mindset is for the foundation for any healthy lifestyle. We'll be talking a little bit about a fixed mindset versus growth mindset. So sit back, relax, and get ready to laugh because we are ourselves on a journey to finding true health and wellness. All right. Welcome to Talkin Wellness with Beth and Jay. This is our second episode. Let me spit that out a little bit better. This is our second episode of mindset. Yes. So we are going to be talking a little bit more about mindset. Hello and good morning, Jay.
Good morning. It's been quite a morning already.
It is sunny and it's beautiful, and we just got a new microphone. So we just spent the first part of the morning trying to figure out how to work electronics. Once you get to know Jay and I a little bit better, you'll realize that is a feat all in itself. Mm-hmm. We are not electronically inclined.
But when all is said and done, hopefully you guys can hear us better now.
Yes.
That was the whole point of this. Plus, it kind of looks like a real podcast now.
It makes us feel better.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about mindset. Let's do a little recap, Jay. What did we talk about last week?
So, seems like a while since we've done one of these episodes, but in our first episode of mindset, we basically defined mindset. And basically, it's a set of beliefs that shape how you make sense of the world and yourself, influences how you think, feel, and behave in any given situation. And it basically means that what you believe about yourself impacts your success or failure in life or any endeavor that you might undertake. We talked about things like there are two basic mindsets, fixed versus growth. Fixed is something more, it implies your abilities are fixed, traits, and cannot be changed. So no matter how hard you work, you're never going to get better at whatever that thing is. Growth is basically your talents and abilities can be cultivated over time through consistent effort and persistence. And maybe you'll never become, the best at what you do, but you can certainly improve your intelligence and talents and skills at whatever it is you're working at. We went through some examples. What else did we do? And we're also looking at the impacts of praise. We had personal praise, which is basically telling a child that they're smart. And it basically promotes that more fixed mindset that we were just talking about. Whereas a process praise emphasizes the effort a person puts in to accomplish a task. It implies their success is due to the effort and not so much their innate talents. We talked a little bit about the impact of labeling, basically assigning people characteristics based on their stereotypes or associations with different groups. So basically, an example of that, what we talked about was a person who holds the stereotype that girls are bad at math, or that boys are bad at reading, may form a fixed mindset about their own abilities in those specific domains. Let's see. And I think that's kind of where we left it off.
Yeah.
We did mention a good resource for those that want to take a deeper dive into it. A book called Mindset, The New Psychology of Success by Carol Dweck, D-W-E-C-K. So if you want to learn a little bit more about this, you can certainly check that book out. So part 2 now, we're going to talk about, determining what your mindset is or what our mindsets are as individuals, how to unfix, and basically how to unfix a fixed mindset and move more towards a growth-minded approach to all of this.
Yeah, so I was actually just teaching my mindfulness class the other day, and we're going back to the principles of Jon Kabat-Zinn. And the topic was a beginner's mindset. So as I'm teaching this class, I'm like, this is exactly what a growth mindset is. So I had a quote that was in my class that I really, really like. And it says, in a beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the expert, there are only a few. And I love that quote because I think about my kids. And if anybody has kids that are stubborn, they know. Anytime you try to teach them something new, I know, Mom, I know, but you don't know. So I'm trying to work with my 10-year-old now to flip the script and open up his mind instead of, I know, being okay with maybe you don't know. And it's okay to learn from somebody else or expand your knowledge. So I thought that was a really good quote to get us started today.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so if you are an expert of everything, your mind is going to be closed and you're never going to learn anything new. So
Right.
Give us the test, Jay. Give us the test.
All right. So, do you have a fixed or a growth mindset? That is the question. Um, so basically, there's 6 different questions we're going to go through that you can ask yourself, and just to get a handle on where maybe your mindset is. So number one, basically with each one of these, you decide whether you agree or disagree. So number one was you're born with a certain amount of intelligence and it isn't something that can be changed. So whether you agree with that, if you do agree with that, that would certainly kind of shift the needle more towards that fixed mindset. Where if you don't necessarily agree with that, that would kind of be more indicative of a growth mindset. Number two is no matter who you are, there isn't much you can do to improve your basic abilities and personality. Number three, people are capable of changing who they are. 4 would be you can learn new things and improve your intelligence. Number 5, people either have particular talents or they don't. You can't just acquire talent for things like music, writing, art, or athletics. Number 6, studying, working hard, and practicing new skills are all ways to develop new talents and abilities. So maybe let's have a little bit of fun here and let's go through each one of these individually and give our own answers to you.
I love it. Yeah, I think that's great.
So you first, number one.
Number one, you're born with a certain amount of intelligence and it isn't something that can be changed. Definitely fixed mindset. Actually, when I was preparing for this talk and I was reading through the list here, I thought, man, that's terrible. Why would someone believe that? So we all know where my brain is. Like, I believe that you can put work into anything. I don't believe that everything's for everyone, but I do believe that you can try new things and see if it's something that you like and something that you want to grow in. So I definitely disagree with number one.
I'm going to go the opposite way and say I completely agree because I'm as smart as I was when I was born.
So nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed for Jay. No, obviously I'm kidding there. Yeah, I would definitely say.
I got excited for a second. I thought we were going to be able to have a debate.
No, not on that one. No, I completely agree with. I completely disagree with that and agree with you that I think with the right effort, you can certainly increase your knowledge, your learning, your intelligence, and I think even to a certain degree, skills and talents. Even if you don't have those innate abilities, you could certainly shift yourself towards being better at those things. So I think we both agree on that. So again, as we're going through these, this particular question, if you disagreed with you're born with certain amounts of intelligence and isn't something that can be changed, that would be more of a fixed mindset. If you disagree with that, like Beth and I did, that would be more of a growth mindset. And I guess what we also want to say here, a little bit of a disclaimer, the grand scheme of things here, there's no right or wrong. If you feel differently on these things, that's absolutely fine. The whole point of this type of thing is, though, are there things that we can do, adjustments in our mindset that can help us as we move forward to acquire new skills, to have more of a
learning mindset.
A learning mindset. A
growth.
Exactly.
Yeah, growth is never comfortable. That's the one thing I always talk about in my mindfulness class. Growth, if you're comfortable, you're probably not growing. Like, I tell people in mindfulness, you just really have to learn to be comfortable in uncomfortable places. Because, growth with the new business that we've started, Lindsay and I, 2 years ago.
It's been 2 years already, man.
It's been 2 years already. Wow. Yeah.
And
we are growing. We're blowing up. And everything we do is new. And in the last 2 years, every single thing we do, except for the actual treatments itself, it's new. We're learning. And had we had a fixed mindset of, we know what we're doing, don't tell me X, Y, Z, we would not be as successful as we are today because, we lean on people like you, and we lean on people like the Webster Chamber, and we lean on people like Edge Advertising, and I'm constantly I spend the most time that I can with business owners or managers or people in leadership because I want to learn. Teach me your ways, teach me things that work, teach me things that didn't work. So we were definitely not born with business owning intelligence, but we're learning and we're succeeding and we're failing and we're doing all of the things, but we're growing.
But you're willing to fail, and that's getting outside that comfort zone.
Yeah,
we could spend a whole podcast on days like being comfortable with being uncomfortable and all those things, but it is absolutely true. You can shift it to a more of a fitness mindset or strength and conditioning. You need your body grows when it is exposed to the right amount of stimulus.
Yeah.
And sometimes, a lot of the times, it's uncomfortable. How we adjust all that type of thing is a topic for another day, of course. But
we could definitely go down the rabbit hole.
If you want to get stronger, if you want to get leaner, if you want to lose weight or body fat, you have to do something different than what you're doing now and be willing to push outside that comfort zone. So
absolutely.
I would absolutely agree with that. So number two, no matter who you are, there isn't much you can do to improve your basic abilities and personality. What do you think about that one?
I wouldn't say improve your basic abilities because that's definitely not right in personality. Although I really, truly don't think you can change much of your personality. So I'm kind of 50-50 on this one. I think you can learn new things. Maybe I'm not but for me, this is me.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard for me to pull back. It's really hard for me to be someone that I'm not. And I finally just embraced this is who I am, like it, lump it, or leave it. It's fine. But I don't know, because personalities come so young. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Do you think at your current age, because of your life experiences to date, it's hard for you to change who you are? Is that what you're basically saying?
I don't know what I'm saying, Jay. I think what I'm saying is
that's what we do on this podcast. We just
we
wing it.
So I feel like I don't know if you can change your personality. I think you can grow, but I don't know if improve's the right word. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of 50-50 on this one. I think you definitely can improve your abilities, but I don't know that you can change.
I think it's a context thing. So I certainly agree about I believe with the putting in the work and the effort, you can always improve on your abilities, whatever that is. As far as personality, I think you can. If you put yourself in situations where you are, what's a good example here? So, if you're used to being around negative people and negative thoughts, and that's just the personality you have, everything is glass half empty versus glass half full. And then you get older, you go through college, and you get in with a group of people that's just the opposite. I would say that very likely you can, depending on your environment, who you surround yourself with. And if you really want to do that, you spend a lot of time teaching mindfulness, and a lot of those techniques of meditation and mindfulness that allow us to kind of reset and be in the moment, I think can be very valuable in turning those things around. Now, can someone go from being a world-class extrovert to an introvert, or someone that's super introverted all of a sudden, next thing you know, standing on stage in front of 20,000 people delivering a speech? I would say yes, but that's probably going to be a little bit more of a hard thing. So
I think what I'm stuck on, I'm stuck on the improve. I think that I take everybody for who they are, and I wouldn't necessarily, I don't like the word improve. I think that's where I'm at.
So
I think I'm stuck on improve. I think change.
Right. So you don't think there's anybody out there, anybody you know that can improve their personality?
I think so. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I guess
we all know those people, Beth.
But see, in my world, those are just people I don't spend my time with.
I get it.
So I wouldn't say you have a terrible personality. I would say, I feel like I would choose different ways. I think that
I appreciate you wouldn't say that about me.
Yeah, I would never say that about you, Jay. But I guess there are some people on my list right now. Okay, so I'm going to take it all back, and I'm going to say, yes, I guess you can improve your personality. So I definitely have a growth mindset, but I think that improve your personality bothered me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that I disagree with that statement. So in other words, I do believe that you can improve your basic abilities and some personality traits.
So
To
this
what
next
degree?
one, I completely agree with. People are capable of changing who they are. See,
Yeah.
that one I agree with. It's
Right.
the wording of number 2 I didn't like.
Right. And again, not having a degree in clinical psychology,
We have no idea.
I can't speak to a lot of the nuances and all these things. But again, we're trying to give you our personal opinion and give you guys tools, or at least some food for thought, right? All right, so yeah, people, that's number 3, people are capable of changing who they are. I would absolutely agree with that statement.
See, I agree with that one, and I feel like that's the same thing I was trying to get at number 2, is that you can practice the pause, become aware that you're negative,
Mhm.
and purposely make a change.
Mhm.
But I think that negative thought, if you're a negative person, is always going to be there. You just
You
choose.
tend to gravitate towards
You tend
the
to
yin
gravitate.
to the yang, whatever.
Yes.
Gotcha. And I guess I would agree with that too.
You can learn new things and improve your intelligence. 100%.
I
Couldn't agree with that
too.
more.
Yeah. Number 5, people either have particular talents or they don't. You can't just acquire talent for things like music, writing, art, or athletics. I think to a certain extent, and I have no way to substantiate this, but those that are gifted, songwriters,
Mhm.
painters, sculptors, novelists, all that kind of thing, you name it. I think a certain part of that is who they are. That being said, I think if someone really wants to put in the time and the work, you can certainly see some improvement.
But you have to want.
I mean, I could go from a stick figure to something that looks a little bit less like a stick figure in terms of drawing.
So when I read this, I initially thought, so my son and my daughter and I are very, very artistic. We love, we'll just buy canvases and paint, and it's just who we are. So I was trying to pull my husband, who's very athletic and could care less about arts and crafts, into the family fun. And so he did it hesitantly because he didn't want to do it, but he did it because it was a family thing. And he literally painted straight lines, just one after the other. And
How did it look though?
they were terrible. And I think that when I was reading that, and I thought, it was just like his way of, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being a part of the family.
It's his way of saying, bleep.
Yes. It was so terrible. So, I mean, that's why when I was reading this, I immediately thought about that. And I'm thinking, I don't know if you could approve.
Again,
but I do think if he put the time, if he wanted to do it, he could do it.
That's what I was going to say. If you have a desire to improve, learn an instrument, you may never be a virtuoso.
Right.
But can you go from not knowing anything about it or being able to play that instrument to being passively good? Yes, if you're willing to put the time and effort.
And it's really important to do this because I was just writing a blog on Alzheimer's, because next month is Alzheimer's awareness. And one of the big things is those cognitive exercises. And in order to change the brain and to exercise the brain, you have to do things that you're uncomfortable with. You have to learn new things. So even though you might not be good at it, it's really important to put yourself in a position of something that you're not comfortable in and you know nothing about, and learning and trying to be better at that one thing. But it's really good exercise for the brain. So that's kind of where I went with that one. But I just couldn't stop thinking of my husband's straight lines.
So number 5, that one we're just talking about, I would say that I don't agree with that one. I believe that you can acquire certain levels of skill and talent even if it's not something that you are initially good at.
And I agree with you. I definitely think you have to want to do it, but I definitely think you may not, like you said, be hitting grand slams in baseball, but you can maybe make a base.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, every team needs those grinders, those hard workers, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not everybody can be a superstar, for sure. All right, number 6, studying, working hard, and practicing new skills are all ways to develop new talents and abilities.
I feel like that's exactly what we were just talking about with number 5.
Yeah, I would agree 100% with that one as well. So what does this all mean? Again, this is kind of one of those fun little things you can kind of do on your own. So basically, if you tend to agree most with statements 1, 2, and 5, then you'll probably have more of a fixed mindset. If you agree most with statements 3, 4, and 6, then you probably tend to have more of a growth mindset. So I think from here, based on how we've defined the different types of mindsets, fixed versus growth, I would say from an overall healthy mindset perspective, having more of a growth mindset would be better than having more of that fixed mindset. Would you agree with that?
I would agree. I would definitely think that the growth mindset, and it's actually a principle of mindfulness, is having that growth mindset or the beginner's mind. I have some things that I wrote in my mindfulness class that I thought I'd share. Of if you are someone that has that fixed mindset and this is something that you want to work on, again, we're not saying it's a negative thing, but the awareness that you have it and then taking steps to change it or improve it. I'm just completely now going back to number 2 and completely destroying my argument. I think the improve, I didn't like that word, but then I just used it. So slow down on purpose and force yourself to experience life more deeply. So number 1, it's always practicing the pause. Become present-minded. When you're going for a walk, don't have a million things on your mind. Just, be in the moment. Look at the trees, look at the flowers, look at the homes. I tell people, if you really can't, think, okay, I want to find all of the red cars today and just notice when a red car, because that just keeps pulling you back to the present moment. Avoiding prejudgment. We talk a lot about this in mindfulness, is the labels of good, bad, and neutral. And I think that's why when I saw improve, it just struck me the wrong way. But as soon as you think that, oh, well, I have a fixed mindset, it's bad, you just automatically built resistance. And so it's just like being, okay, this is who I am as a person. I want to be more positive. So I'm going to practice the pause. I'm going to, when a negative thought comes in my mind, I'm going to take a breath and I'm going to change my thought. But practicing that will change the brain, and it'll be, maybe John Kabat-Zinn always says, it's not about not judging, because that's who we are as people. And I think you and I have talked about this many a times. It's just that survival instinct of negative. It's recognizing how judgy you are.
And recognizing when you are being judgmental.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you recognize you become distracted and gone off on that train of thought. Once that moment that you actually realize that is being mindful.
Absolutely.
That's the whole practice. And you said the word practice, we say it all the time. These things just don't happen by, oh, that sounds really good, I want to be more mindful because it's going to lead to this, this, and this. You actually have to take some time to do it. And just like anything else, you start small. You go to one of Beth's awesome mindfulness courses.
Thanks, Jay.
Which maybe
Thanks for the plug.
In fact, maybe we should do a guided mindfulness or meditation on one of these podcasts.
I love it. I could add one. Actually, I can add one on the end of today. I have a couple pre-recorded, so we'll do one at the end. Eliminate the word should or would because of, so should attaches yourself to an outcome. So when you're trying to become have that beginner's mindset, that growth mindset, we shouldn't be using the word should, because it puts a lot of pressure on us. Why should we? So just, take it out of the vocabulary.
So when we say should, it's almost like you're creating an absolute, right?
You are, yeah. And you're putting that expectation of that someone should do this. And I say all the time in my class, expectations are resentments waiting to happen. So it's really important not to put those shoulds on someone. Don't should someone, So, why should you? Who made the rule? So, just be kind to yourself. I would like to have a beginner's mindset. I would like to work on my negative mindset. Wonderful. That's great. But you don't need to put, I should work on this.
And the key statement you just made there too is being kind to yourself. When you realize that you've gone off the rails and you become less mindful or whatever it is, have a laugh about it. Have a sense of humor. Oh, I just messed up there. But guess what? This next moment in time is your next opportunity.
Make a choice to do the right thing.
To do it again and reset things. So that's one thing that I've learned in everything I do. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. It's not about being a Jedi master. It's not about having a focus where any other thought in your mind goes away. That's never going to happen.
It can't happen. It's impossible.
Where the magic is when you realize, oh, the last 2 minutes I was off on this crazy train of thoughts. You realize it.
That is my entire life. And I
Yeah.
don't know about you, Jay, but people look at me and like, I teach mindfulness. So they're like, oh, well, did you meditate today? I'm like, you know what? I didn't. I need to, because I am so busy all the time. I actually had someone just recently tell me mindfulness, and I love this for the beginner's mind. Mindfulness is not about changing anything. It's about flipping the way you view things. So somebody said to me, I'm always striving to not be busy in my mind. Like, I'm always like, oh my gosh, I have so much going on. I have this, I have that. I'm always trying to find, I tell my dad all the time, I'm just trying to find a balance, trying to find a balance. And then someone told me, you do realize you're never not going to be busy. You're a business owning mom of two. You have baseball. It's baseball season. Like, there is no way you are not going to be busy. It's going to be the rest of your life.
You'd be miserable.
I would be miserable. Absolutely. Even when I don't have something to do, I make up things to do.
Exactly.
So all I did was flip the script in my brain. And I had to find a way, okay, this is my life now. But I need to check things off the list. I never feel settled unless I get my list done. So what I did is I carry a journal now. And I have long-term goals and short-term. And when I write them down on paper, they're out of my brain. And at the end of the day, my short-term goals I can check off. So mentally, I feel more peaceful because now everything's on paper. It's not in my brain flying around.
And then you can go to sleep.
I can still get my list checked. Like, there's always a running tallied list, but my short-term goal list is done. So I've just flipped the script and it took me talking with this one person and being open about listening to her advice about the way that I was viewing life. And it's rocked my world. It's been an amazing thing. So if I would have been closed-minded, I would have never learned that and never heard that. And
or you would have said, nah, heck with it.
Yeah.
Not bother.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and then one more thing I have on my list is celebrate your failures and successes as integral parts of your journey, not a reflection of who you are. So I think we can learn that with our kids. I think we can learn that. I know for me, sometimes, if my son fails something or gets in trouble at school or this, we automatically think that's a reflection of who we are as parents.
Right.
And I feel like it's just an integral part of the journey. It's not who you are as a person. I'm human, like we talked about before. We make mistakes.
Yeah.
How are we gonna not make this mistake again? What lesson can we learn from this journey or this mistake?
Perfection is not required. That's the good news in all this, folks.
It's not. Oh, speaking of that, so here's a Michael Jordan quote. I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost over 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over and over in my life, and that's why I've succeeded.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
But, you look at him and you think of what an amazing athlete he is, but he's missed more than 9,000 shots. And that's huge.
Yeah.
I tell my son all the time, if you are not striking out, you're not trying.
Yeah.
You can't.
As long as he's swinging.
That's what I mean. It makes me crazy. It makes me crazy when he wasn't swinging.
Those called strikes are just, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, you're right. It's good things to keep in mind. All right, to kind of bring this all to a conclusion, I guess is the word. How do we unfix a fixed mindset? We talked a lot about it. Beth gave us some really good nuggets there from her mindfulness. So people with more of a fixed mindset might not agree, but it's argued, Carol Dweck in her book, suggests that people are capable of changing their mindsets. And there's 4 different things we can look at here. So you just kind of mentioned it, focus on the journey. An important factor when building a growth mindset is seeing the value in your journey. When you're fixated on the end result, you miss out on all the little things you could be learning along the way. And to me, in fact, right behind you on that board somewhere, it says fitness is a journey, not a destination. And I think when we focus on, I want to lose weight, I want to deadlift 500 pounds, this, that, and the other thing, we tend, to miss all those little steps and those little successes that give us that motivation to go on to the next step. But you don't really learn those necessary things stepwise to get you to whatever that end goal
And
is.
those little steps are so important.
And to me, that's the awesome part of doing all this stuff. Is putting in that time, putting in that effort, seeing things gradually improve and get better. So I absolutely agree with that. Focusing on the journey. And again, the other thing too is we tend to be a society that everything we're kind of always leaning forward and rushing forward with things. So kind of pulling back and focusing on these little steps. I think more manageable bites or pieces
Just like my journal book, those
are
little
easier
tiny.
for us to digest and actually implement. Again, a lot of this stuff, it's very logical. It's out there. We've talked about it before, but it's these fundamental things done consistently that get you where you want to be. So enjoy the journey. You know, unless you're Buddhist or whatever, you know, we get one shot at this life. Why don't we enjoy every single moment of it? Even the ones that we think of as more negative, aren't they really negative? You know,
No.
I'm uncomfortable right now, but guess what? This is going to make me better tomorrow or the next time I do this.
If you look at a map of your life, these uncomfortable moments are just a blip on the map.
By the way, I just wanted to say that I have some really good new coffee. I have a brand new coffee maker in my office here. So
Squirrel.
no, sorry, this is just awesome.
Oh, that's so funny, Jay. Yes. So enjoy your journey. Enjoy every single day. My son and I have a lot of the same personality. We just like to be here.
Yeah.
We really just like, no matter where we are, you will never see me upset getting stuck in traffic or my dad said in the car, I talk to him a lot. And he said, I have never in my entire life met someone who's made more wrong turns and not care.
I'm like,
it leads me. I find the most amazing things on those off roads from making wrong turns.
Yeah. Second thing, incorporate the word yet. So if you're struggling with the task, remind yourself that you just haven't mastered it yet. Integrating the word into your vocabulary signals that, you know, despite any struggles that you're having, you can really overcome anything. So maybe you're not quite there yet. Tomorrow you'll be a little bit closer to being there. Or you know, the next time, you know, you work on X or Y or whatever it is. So I think that's kind of an important step too. The next thing, and we've kind of talked about this, and I think it's kind of the basis for a lot of the mindfulness stuff that you do, Beth, is pay attention to your words and your thoughts. Replace negative thoughts with more positive ones to build a growth mindset.
And let me just reiterate, you're going to have negative thoughts. We all do. It's the survival instinct in our body. So it's recognizing you have that thought and then changing it.
And yeah, exactly. And understanding that, it's like, don't be afraid to be positive or happy. And you know what? Hang out with cool, happy people.
I mean, we're available.
Exactly. Anytime. You know, we're always looking for something else to do.
We are always looking for something else to do.
But surrounding yourself with people that have energy and enthusiasm and always see the positive side of something is a good catalyst towards developing that kind of mindset. So.
And let me tell you, our Wellness 360 staff, yesterday I was giving a massage. All they did was laugh. I mean, the laughter, I was almost like feeling like I was left out because I was in the room. But the entire day yesterday, the whole staff was at our Webster location, and it was nothing but laughter the entire day. And you walk out the door, and I hung around for like an hour after work piddling because we were enjoying each other so much.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it really does. Somebody told me once, show me the 5 people you spend the most of your time with, and I'll show you who you are as a person.
Well, we have so many good quotes. Laughter is the best medicine is another great one.
Yeah. So really look at who you're spending your time with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Might be time to cut some cords.
Exactly. Yeah. So that whole toxicity that might be in your life.
I'm sure we'll have another podcast on that too.
Absolutely. And the last thing is take on challenges. Making mistakes is one of the best ways to learn. It's uncomfortable. Again, that word comes up. So instead of shying away from challenges, embrace them. Easy thing to do or easy thing to say. It's a simple idea. Implementing it could be tough, but just take that one little step outside your comfort zone. You know?
Remember, if you're not uncomfortable, you're not changing. It's really important to understand that. You're not growing if you're not uncomfortable.
Right.
So there's times in my meditations and things, and I'm like, just, sit in this one pose. I know it's a little uncomfortable, but see if you can get really comfortable in being uncomfortable.
Right. Now, for those people out there that don't care about any of this and don't want to be uncomfortable, then you can disregard everything we've said in part 1 and in today's podcast.
And you can hit stop at any time that you choose to.
Yes. We're not, I mean, we're pretty shiny, happy people, but this is, the reality of it is, you know, you have it within yourself to control a lot of these things. So, you know, again, not to spoil another potential episode, but I really think that spending time, and this is again, one of the roots of mindfulness, become self-aware. What is it that you're feeling? What is it that you want? And then make changes or adjustments from there.
Yeah. And again, the mindfulness thing is practice the pause. Take a breath. Notice what you're thinking. Mm-hmm. If you like it, I always tell people, weed your garden. If you like it, awesome, wonderful. If you don't like it, change it. Weed your garden. You get to pick and choose how you believe. You get to pick and choose. Just because your mom told you, or your granddad told you, or your church told you, or your neighborhood told you, or social media, or the society today tells you something, doesn't mean that's the way you need to live. You can be you, and you know, you are a beautiful person. So yeah,
exactly, I agree.
Yeah.
So to kind of wrap this, what we got some stuff coming up.
We do. Let's talk about some stuff. You go first.
So is this going to be out before next Wednesday, this podcast?
I'm going to hopefully have it out.
Right.
Yeah.
So if anybody listens, next Wednesday here at the Webster Rec Center, we're doing
Senior Fitness.
Yes, National Senior Health and Fitness Day. I know not everybody likes that word senior, but that's what it's called.
We actually had a big debate on that, senior.
Uh-huh.
I said aging, and they hated that even worse.
Okay.
So it's 50-50.
Right. I haven't really come up with a word that probably works, but for lack of a better word.
Active adult.
Okay, so National Active Adult Health and Fitness Day is next Wednesday. This is actually a national observance.
It is.
Wednesday, May 31st. So here at the Webster Recreation Center in Webster, New York, because there is a Webster Recreation Center on Webster Ave in the city.
I did not know that.
It is. So make sure you come to the one in Webster.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with the other one, but if you want to come to
But the senior day's here, not there.
What did you call it instead? Active
adult.
Active adult. Yeah. So 10 to 2 a.m. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're going to have all sorts of sample classes. Beth is going to be doing some active adult cycling.
Yes.
And chair yoga. We'll have, and these will all be basically like 30-minute sample classes starting at 10 and ending at around, well, Beth's
probably
classes
25,
around 2. Yeah, 25. We'll do some silver and fit, some Swedish fitness. One of our awesome instructors here at the Rec Center, Jen, will be doing a Zumba Gold. She'll also be doing a little nutrition Q&A and talk during lunchtime.
So much fun.
And then we'll have some vendors. Yeah. Wegmans will be here.
Smoothies, yeah.
We have lots of stuff going on. So come on out.
Yeah, and then Wellness 360 and the Webster Rec are teaming up again to do a Ride to Remember for Alzheimer's. I'm really excited about this. You can Ride to Remember for anyone that you choose. Our front desk manager's father passed away from Alzheimer's disease, so we are riding to remember Robert Cunningham, who retired as a from the Rochester Police Department. Lovely, lovely man. Everybody that knew him loved him. So we have 3 spin classes going from 10 to 1, and if you want to do a virtual ride, you can just join our team. You can ride anywhere at any time that you want. Just make a donation and send us pictures so we can post them on our social media. And then really quickly, the summer celebration that Wellness 360 is going to be at.
So it's actually 2 weeks from tomorrow.
June 10th. It's my birthday, the day after my birthday. Yeah, so we'll celebrate my birthday there.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, it's our annual event. Those of you familiar with it. We usually have crowds of people. We'll have all kinds of food trucks. We'll have a couple of bands. There'll be fireworks.
Kids things, games.
Yeah, we'll have all kinds of inflatables. Not sure what the weather's going to be like, but I'm sure it's going to be awesome.
It's got to be beautiful. Yeah. Because I've been looking
But
really forward to this.
We've had it both, rain and super hot, so hopefully it'll be somewhere in between. But yeah, join us. That usually starts around 4 p.m. and goes right through till after the fireworks, somewhere around 10:15, 10:20.
Awesome. So that is a wrap. So remember, from Jay and Beth, if it doesn't challenge you, it's not going to change you. So have that growth mindset, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good.
So we'll pause and then.
We'll take a little pause. Can you guys hear us better? I don't think they can hear us. There's no answer.
I was wondering what you were doing. Oh, that's hysterical.
All right.